Okay, so early Monday morning, before school, Dewald is looking for the grade 8 girl that Oldie bullied. So she sees Dewald walking towards her, and she asks him to leave her alone, because after he stood up for her, Oldie told everyone at school about her dad's affair. And you can see she's uncomfortable talking to Dewald. And then Dewald thinks to himself, like, she's continuing this conversation with me just because, like, I have a stutter and she feels she needs to speak to me, but actually she doesn't want to speak to me. Ja of nee? Ag, ek weet nie, sê sy lewensvoos. Mag ek maar sit? Sy kyk eers rond en knik dan. Ek gaan sit en van haar af op die bankie. My naam is Dewald. Ek's Clarissa, sê sy huiwerig. Dink jy wat sy van jou pa sê is waar? Vra ek versigtig. Sy snik hard. Ek weet nie. Dit kan wees. Ek kan nie net my pa vra nie. Jy weet hoe skinder mense in hierdie buurt. Ek kyk stip na haar. Mag ek jou iets vra, Clarissa? Haar kop sak en sy verbreek weer oogkontak. Kom ons sê jou pa is skuldig. Dis nie reg wat ek doen nie. Ons almal weet dit. Haar kop knik stadig, maar sy antwoord nie. Maar is dit jou skuld as sy dit wel doen? Vra ek opreg. Sy skud haar kop heen en weer. Daar is baie lelike dinge in die wêreld, verduidelik ek. Maar hoekom moet jy betaal vir jou pa se foute? Jy is seker reg, sê sy. Jy is die kaptein van jou eie skip. Wat gaan jy doen oor Oldie? Wat kan ek doen? Vra sy sag. Ek sal haar maar die volgende 2 jaar moet vermy. So they sit together, but you can see the girl is feeling awkward. And Dewald starts to ask her about her dad. Is it true? And she says she doesn't know. And he says, well, if it is true, it's not right what he's doing, and everyone knows that. But it's not her fault that he is doing it if he is doing it. And he says there are many ugly things in this world, and you shouldn't pay for your dad's mistakes. And she agrees with him. He says, you're the captain of your own ship, so what are you going to do about Oldie? And she says, she doesn't know. She'll probably have to avoid her for the next 2 years. En dan vra ek, tot die volgende Oldie in jou lewe instap. Ek is so moeg om geboelie te word, snik sy. Dit kom al my lewe lang. Dis asof daar teen my voorkop staan, ek wil graag rondgestamp word. So jy sal moet leer om op te staan teen hulle. Jy sal moet leer hoe om sterk te wees. Dis soos fietsry. 'n Mens leer en word beter. Maar hoe? Vra sy en kyk my weer in die oë. Ek glimlag. Sou jy graag wou deel wees van 'n geheime organisasie teen bullies? Die hoop wat in haar oë opskiet is 'n prentjie wat ek nooit ooit in my lewe sal vergeet nie. Absoluut, sê sy, asof 'n wind skielik lewe in haar geblaas het. Hoe en waar? Ek haal die perskaartjie uit my baadjiesak en gee dit vir haar. Het jy 'n slimfoon? Ja, sê sy opgewonde en pluk dit uit. Scan die kode. Die wagwoord is VL13G. Wat's dit? Vra sy nuuskierig en berg gretig die kaartjie weg. Dis 'n groep mense wat saam staan teen bullies. Jy kan sê 'n geheime familie. Die meisie wat nou vir my sit is nie die stikkende een van 'n rukkie gelede nie. Ek ken nog 2 meisies wat deur al die geboelie word. Kan ek dit maar met hulle deel? Natuurlik, sê ek, maar maak net seker julle deel dit met mense wat dit regtig nodig het. En hou dit geheim. Ons wil nie hê die bullies moet hiervan weet nie. So, okay, so he answered like, yes, you are going to avoid her, but then the next bully is going to come across your path, and then what are you going to do? And she says while she cries that she's so tired of being bullied. It's been a thing her whole life. It's as if it's stamped onto her forehead. So he tells her she needs to learn to stand up for herself. She needs to learn how to be strong, and that it's like riding a bike. When you learn, you become better. And she asks, but how? So he asks her, does she want to join their organization? And she says, absolutely. So she takes out her smartphone and scans the barcode. And he gives her the password verbally. And she asks him, what is this, when the link opens up on her phone? And he says it's a group of people who stand up against bullies, almost like a secret family. She mentions she knows 2 more girls that are being bullied by Oldie, and she asks if she can share the link with them. And he says yes, of course, but we need to just share it with people who absolutely need it and who can keep it a secret. They don't want the bullies to find out about this. Sy staan op en omhels my. Dankie Dewald, jy's 'n engel. So she thanks him and calls him an angel. Meneer Visser hou my stip dop toe ek voor hom gaan sit. Hy het vandag 'n vol pak aan en was dit nie verdorie helder oë van hom nie, kon hy maklik met die vol gordyne agter hom saamsmelt. Is jy verlief, Dewald? Dis die eerste vraag. Nee, meneer, skerm ek dadelik. Hoekom? Daar's iets anders aan jou, sê hy. Jy het lewe in jou oë. Wel, meneer, as jy wil weet of ek en my vriende 'n geheime organisasie genaamd Smetterling gestig het en reeds vandag meer as 30 QR-codes uitgedeel het, dan gaan dit definitief goed met my. Verder het meer as 10 leerders wat ek nie ken nie vir my gewaai met Karlien se skoenlapper gebaar. Binne een dag het dit nie so 'n veldplan versprei en ons het reeds oor die 60 lede in die groep. Aan die einde van die dag, meneer, wil ek graag die wêreld 'n beter plek maak en dit lyk of die plan vraggies gaan werk. Dalk is dit net my verbeelding, maar ek kan sweer daar is meer mense as gewoonlik wat lag op die skoolterrein. 'n Weermag van geboeliedes wat skielik besef hoeveel mag daar in getalle is. So he's going to his therapist counselor at school, and his counselor is wearing this pale beige attire, and if it wasn't for his green eyes, then he probably would have blended in with the curtains. And his therapist asked him, like, are you in love? Because there's something different about how you come across. And he says no, and he tells him about this organization that they have started, and that they have more than 30 QR codes already handed out, and that there are 10 people who he does not know who did the butterfly hand gesture at school. It feels like it's been spread like a wildfire. And it feels like they're making a difference in the world, and as if their plan is going to work. Maybe he thinks to himself it's just his imagination, but he truly believes, in a sense, that more people laugh today at school. And maybe that's because of the organization. He thinks a whole lot of people who have been bullied have suddenly realized what power comes with community. Weermag wat weer die bullies is in die minderheid. En as hulle staan, hoef hulle nie bang te wees nie. Ek het baie goed in my lewenswetenskap toets gedoen, jok ek. So he didn't actually tell his therapist this. He was just thinking this, but he lies and says he did very well in a test. Meneer Visser kyk met twyfel na my. As jy so sê, Dewald, gedigtig, dan wil ek jou nie sien as jy die dag regtig verlief is nie. So he's like, okay, if you say so, but like, when you are in love the day, like, he doesn't want to know how his demeanor is going to be, if he's this happy just with passing or doing well on a test. My kop is nie vol muisneste nie, meneer, keer ek. Ja, se geheim. As die liefde nou maar net so gewerk het, nee? Maar soms vang hy jou soos 'n skielike maagaandoening op 'n 5 uur lange busrit. Ek lag hardop. Ek het nooit gedink ek sou hierdie woorde uit sy mond hoor nie. Vertel my van Nicola, sê hy metens en pluk die mat met mening onder my uit. Struikel ek, wat wil meneer weet? Alles, sê hy, en kyk aandagtig na my. Ons ontmoet nou al vir meer as 2 weke en jy het nog nie 'n woord oor haar gesê nie. Ek haal my skouers op. Daar's nie veel om te vertel nie, meneer. Sy is my beste vriendin. Julle kom al jare lang saam, né? Van graad 1 af, meneer. Het jy ooit enige gevoelings vir haar ontwikkel? Ek wil vir hom sê dat dit niks met hom uit te waai nie, maar ek weet hy probeer my net verstaan. So ek haal diep asem. Nee, meneer, Nicolas soos 'n sissie vir my. So, this discussion about the test drastically changes when his therapist or his counselor asks him about Nicola. And he asks him, did he have feelings, or does he have feelings for Nicola? And obviously Dewald is frustrated because he feels like it's none of his business. But they've been speaking for 2 weeks now, and nothing serious really has come up. So he might as well kind of open up. Gaan aan, Porheim. Go on, the counselor encourages him. Sy is baie mooi. Sy het lang swart hare en 'n aansteeklike lag wat 'n mens myle ver kan hoor. Ek vertel hom van hoe ons saam kattekwaad gedoen het as kinders. Ek laat glip totdat ek by was toe sy haar skoenlapper tattoo gekry het. Ek vertel hom alles behalwe haar groot geheim. Niemand hoef dit te weet nie. Hy skuif reg in sy stoel en kyk na die deur agter my. Dewald, dit klink soos die beste vriendskap waarvoor enigiemand dit kan wens. So Dewald answers to the question whether he liked or not, that she was very beautiful. She had long black hair, and she had a laugh that made others laugh, and a laugh that you could hear from miles away. He also tells the counselor about all the things they got up to, even that he was there when she got her butterfly tattoo. But he does not tell him about her deepest, darkest secret about being a lesbian. He doesn't feel anyone needs to know that. Hy skuif reg uit sy stoel en kyk na die deur agter my. Dewald, dit klink soos die beste vriendskap waarvoor enigiemand kan wens. And the counselor says to him, or responds to him, it sounds like the best friendship anyone could wish for. Dit is, meneer, it is, he says. Daar's net een ding wat my pla, Dewald, sê hy, en vir die eerste keer voel ek sy groen oë bejammerend na my kyk. Ek sluk aan 'n knop in my keel. En wat is dit, meneer? Jy bly van haar in die teenwoordigheid praat, sê hy, en maak sy keel skoon. Dewald, jy moet aanvaar Nicolas dood. So he says it is the best friendship anyone could ever ask for. And the counselor responds, but there's one thing that's bothering him. And Dewald asks, what is it? And the counselor says it's that he keeps talking about her in the present tense. And that he needs to accept that she has passed away.